Hey guys, my name is Bahle Dlamini and welcome to the channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend that Bahle has a channel, and let's get into it. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about some of the change management work. So for those who are new to the channel, I am a change practitioner and I've also come into the space of client experience, which is a really exciting and awesome combination of the two different disciplines, we'll call it. So today I'm going to be talking about the change impact assessment. So as a professional, you always want to, refresh yourself, see how other people do things, get advice. I think it's good to just keep your skills a bit sharp. So when I plan an impact assessment, I always just like to go back to different videos, speak to other people just to see how do you do it, how do you navigate those sessions. And in my search, there was a lot of content around what an impact assessment is, but not necessarily helping me see how I can facilitate the session, questions to ask, how to go about it. So I just thought, let me share some of my experiences. And for those who are in change management, you can definitely let me know in the comment section how you go about managing and handling these type of sessions. So the impact assessment is part of the first phase or the first stage of work that you do as a change practitioner or change manager for a particular project. So it's preparing for the change. It's gathering all the information that you need that will help you put together a plan of action for managing the change. So part of that is doing an impact assessment. And for me, the first most critical part is understanding the stakeholders. So those are the people that you need to map out the impacts for. Doing a stakeholder identification or stakeholder mapping session helps you see who are the different stakeholders that are one, directly impacted by the change and also indirectly impacted by the change. So sometimes we can always focus on the people who are directly impacted. For example, if it's a group of employees in HR, maybe let's say the HR department is impacted by this change. But there are other people who are indirectly impacted. It could be the IT team who needs to know the solution that you're bringing in. It could be external vendors who need to be aware of the changes that you're making because it could impact indirectly the work that they do. So really important for you to have a clear understanding of the different stakeholders. Some stakeholders are also just enablers. And I say just not because they don't play a critical role, but they enable the change. So they are not the main stakeholders that are impacted that you need to take through the journey, but they just need to be communicated with and kept informed so that they are able to then provide support when they need it to come in with that support. So as you start the project, you need to understand that as a change manager, you don't have all the answers. So the people that you're bringing into that room have vested interest in this thing working out. So they are the ones who know the solution. They are the ones who know what will work, what will not work. So your job is to help pull that information out of them. So it can be tedious, it can be long, but it's a very necessary conversation to have and a very necessary engagement to have because you're helping them pull certain information out there they're probably not even thinking about or considering because they most of the time they're from a technical background. You have a people perspective, so your questions will be more related to what do we foresee happening that will impact the journey or the change experience for that particular group that you've identified. So your job is to pull that information out of them and then construct it and package it into something that will be consumable by people who will be using it. So that's your job. Your job, and I think it's something that I learned early on in my internship years, basically being told that you do not have the solution. The people that you are helping know what's going to work at the end. So your job is to be able to pull that information out of them and put it together in a way that will be usable and consumed by people. So when you do an impact assessment, there are certain templates that you can find. They're very simple and basic ones where it just has a stakeholder group column, the different types of impacts, level of impact, and that's what you cover. And there are more intricate ones where they help you interpret certain information, put graphs together. So you can find different type of templates that you can use. I'll put some examples here so that you guys can see how you can do that. But once you have your stakeholder list ready, then you can transfer that into your change impact assessment tool. And that tool is basically designed to help you understand what types of impacts are going to be experienced by these people. So the different people that you've mapped, what type of impact. And the main ones that we look at are people, which is like attitudes, behaviors that need to be considered or managed, those types of very soft skills or soft attributes that you need to take into account. We look at technology, what softwares are going to be introduced, what tools or softwares are going to be removed. So we look at that. We look at process. So how are the process going to be impacted or changed? If it's a very paper-based process, now you're going to be introducing a new tool. That's a change to the process. If somebody had to make a phone call to somebody to alert them that you've pressed a certain button, now the system will be doing it itself. That's a change into the process. So those are different types of impacts that we look at. There's also a job element of it, a role impact, remuneration also. So there's different types of impacts that can be mapped out, but very important is to understand how will they be impacted? How will those people be impacted? So another way that really helps me manage this conversation is basically when you look at a stakeholder group. So we're saying HR, right? We've said HR is going to be impacted by this project. Now, when you have a conversation with the group that you've identified to help you understand the impact on HR, you need to dissect it further to say, okay, is everybody going to be within HR going to be impacted the same way by this new solution that is coming? And then the people in the room say, oh no, within HR we have 4 different departments. We have talent management, we have payroll, we have what other things are in HR? And we have other 2. So talent management will use the solution different to the payroll team. So then that means you had HR as a group. Now you just need to dissect it further. So you need to split the HR group into payroll, into talent management, and those other 2 that we can't think about right now. So then now instead of having 1 stakeholder group, now you have 4, because these people will be impacted differently. So you need to have a different messaging for those people. Because at the end of the day, if you just think about it this way, the impact assessment is there to help us say, what will we be communicating to this group about this change? Because the messaging is very different. You could have very high level communications for that particular project as a whole, but there needs to be targeted communications because the change is different. And that is the all in all, that is the crux of the impact assessment. How are we going to structure this change experience for these different people because they're impacted differently? And that is what you're mapping out with your change impact assessment. And this then pulls in the elements of the communication plan, the training plan, the engagement plan, resistance management, all of those things that come together because you have a clear picture of payroll has been impacted like this. This is the message that we need to drive to them. This is the type of training that they'll need. This is the type of support that they will need. And this is their change journey and change experience at the end. And this is the desired outcome that we have for payroll. So look at it that way, that initially we had HR because everybody thinks, oh, it's HR. But within that HR group, there's certain other people, certain groups that will be experiencing this differently. So basically the planning for change stage is really, really important, but it's not to also make yourself feel pressure. You can go back and look back at the impact assessments, look back at the stakeholder mapping that you've done, because things change, especially in a technology space where you're working with different solutions, implementing different initiatives and solutions. Things change all the time, so you need to be flexible. It's not things that are cast in stone. You can definitely go back and relook it, but it's really important for you not to miss that stage. And another thing is that We know for those who are change practitioners, we know that as a supporting structure within the organization, often you get pulled into projects at the end. Things have already been planned, things have already been put together, and now they think we just put out a comms and train people. So that is not change management. Change management goes beyond a communication to say the project is live, but there is a journey that you're taking people through, and that is change management. So be sure to have a good change plan that is informed by these different conversations that you're having, your impact assessment, your change canvas, where you're talking about what are the benefits that we're trying to communicate. What is the vision for the project? What are the risks that we foresee happening? Have those conversations because they play a critical role in your overall change plan. So have those conversations. It's a long process. It's a long process, and that is why change needs to be involved from the beginning, because there's a lot of conversations, a lot of information that you need to pull out that will definitely help the success of the delivery of that initiative. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. And for those who are still looking for more information about change management, I'll definitely be sharing more information about that, and also bringing other change practitioners and also other people who are doing other exciting things, within different industries. So do look out for that. Let me know in the comment section what stood out for you and what other information that you'd like for me to touch on. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Once again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Uswathe has a channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.